Hi there, and welcome to the Embodied Soul Podcast. I am your host, Haley, and I want to say that it is, first of all, such an honor and a privilege to be here with you right now. I know your time is valuable, and just by you opening this up, putting it in your ears, listening to it, whether you're walking, driving, doing the dishes, or just sitting on your couch, or maybe you're at work, either way, it is such an honor to be here with you. And again, thank you for being here. Today's episode, I want to talk about something that just recently happened to me, and it is a way how our bodies, when we possibly are overwhelmed or if we're not paying attention to our bodies, how sometimes pain or panic attacks or disease can manifest in the body. I just had something happen to me, very human. And reminded me, hey, I'm human and that I need to share this with you because you may be going through something similar. And just by hearing stories, right? That's why I love podcasts and that's why I love connection and coaching. To hear stories and examples helps us understand better of why things are happening and how we can do things differently. So my biggest mission today is to share what happened to me in hopes that it helps you either one do something differently or just have a better understanding so that you can start to shift and heal and regulate your nervous system so that we don't have to be in pain anymore, so we don't have to overthink, so we don't have to just feel that heaviness and that struggle. So, before we get into that today, in honor of September, it is my birthday month, I want to give you a discount on a coaching call. So, if you've ever wanted to work with me, but maybe the coaching program was a little too expensive, or maybe a coaching call was a little too expensive, or if you're like, hey, I just needed a sign and this is my sign, this is your sign to sign up. So, it is a 40-minute coaching call for only $80. Usually, I charge $150. And then my program is almost 600. So, it's a great entry point if you've ever wanted to work with me and just kind of have a coaching call and see what it's like, maybe like a little appetizer type lunch type instead of a full entree. I highly recommend it. I'm super excited about it. My coaching clients will tell you that we get into it and it really doesn't take long because I truly believe that you have the power and the knowledge and the wisdom deep inside of you to answer all of your questions. You just need to feel safe and allow yourself to do that. And that is something that I create in my containers, whether coaching or whether it is my online course. And I hear that a lot in my events as well. I've never felt so safe. It is so safe. Thank you for creating this safe environment. And that's why I do the things we do because if you think about it, especially in the world today, it doesn't always feel safe. And so, my biggest mission is to help you feel some sort of safety, whether that's with me. And I hope that you start to learn how to feel safe inside of your own body and create that safety for you. So, $80 coaching session, 40 minutes. We can talk about nervous system, we can talk about goals, we can talk about healing in general. A lot of my clients are stuck or they feel like they have a lot of anxiety or they feel like they just don't know how to manage and control their energy. So, a wide range of things. If you have any questions at all, please send me a DM on Instagram at I am Haley Navarro or an email. My email address is Haley at mindbodyandbreath.com. I will leave those both in the description below, as well as the link to schedule your appointment. It's super easy. Click the link, click the time that you want in the day. I will ask you 3 questions, and that just helps get clarity for you and for me so we can just go right into the coaching call when we get on the call. So everything will be in the description box below. Okay, now that's out of the way, let's get into today's episode. So, this episode today is coming to you because I recently had a panic attack and 5 bloody noses in one day. And to fully understand why those things were happening, let's take it back a couple of weeks. So, I currently live in Los Angeles and I spend some of my time in Northern California. If you don't know, I'm a hairstylist. And in LA, I only do house calls. And when I am in Northern California, I do work in a salon about 7 days out of the month. And so I'm up there often. Um, and about a couple of weeks ago, I was up in Northern California working. And it was great. And every time I do that, I get out of my routine. I don't walk as much. I don't eat the best. I have to remember to drink my water. I have to remember to eat lunch when I'm in the salon. And it's a whole bad habit that I have not been able to change. One, because I don't want to. I think that's first and foremost the most important thing to acknowledge is that I don't want to. When I work, I like to work straight through. I want to get in, I want to get out. When I sit down, I don't want to get back up and work more. So I typically eat standing up in between clients. All I need is like 2 or 3 minutes. It is a bad trait for hairstylists, especially ones who have been in the industry for 15 or more plus years. The newer ones, they like to take a lunch. I will say that. Anyways, neither here nor there. I don't have the best habits when I'm up north. And there's a part of me that kind of just reverts back to the quote, old Haley, end quote, of just where I forget, I just kind of forget everything that I know. It's kind of funny, but not at the same time. And so anytime I come back to LA after I've worked the full 7 days in a salon, I always need a day or two to rot in bed or just to kind of do nothing and take a day off, right? I have worked so hard physically, mentally, energetically, and I just need that time and space to relax and do nothing. Maybe get back into my routine, go grocery shopping, clean up a little bit, and just allow my body some space. So, this last time that I did that, my mom decided that she was going to take a week-long break, right? We all deserve breaks. There's nothing wrong with that. We decided, hey, why don't you just ride back with me? You can hang out in LA for a week. I will do some work. You hang out here. We won't have any set plans. We'll just kind of take it as it comes and see what happens. So, after the 7 days in the salon, usually I'm really tired. I had a couple of parties to go to. One of my best friends turned 37. Went to that on a Saturday. My grandma turned 85, 86, 85, 86. Went to her birthday party right after. And then the next day, my mom and I were driving back to LA. So, as you can see, I'm setting this up as there hasn't really been a break. Working in the salon 7 days, had two parties on a Saturday, driving back on a Sunday. I had clients on Monday and Tuesday back in LA. And then I decide, hey, I think it would be really fun to take my mom to Big Bear. She's never been to Big Bear. So after my client on Tuesday, I decide, hey, let's go to Big Bear. Takes us 3 hours because of traffic to get to Big Bear. It's great. If you've ever been to Big Bear, it's one of my favorite places. It's close enough to LA, but far enough away. You feel like you're in a completely different place. You feel like you can breathe. There's a man made lake. You can go snowboarding or skiing in the wintertime. I just love it. It's close enough. There's things to do, but not much to do other than be outside and just kind of enjoy being away. And I can tell you, at this point, as I'm driving to Big Bear, I am exhausted. I can tell you that I am exhausted. My body is tired, but I'm thinking we just got to get to Big Bear, then I can rest. So after a 3 hour drive, we finally make it. I thought that I wanted to cook ribs, and you can't cook ribs at 7 o'clock at night. You just can't. It takes way too long, and so we decided we're gonna go find somewhere to eat for dinner, and then I'll make the ribs when I come home at 10, and because we will be doing nothing at that time. And so that's what I did. We went and had dinner, came back home. I got in the hot tub. I made sure to get a place with a hot tub and a view. That's all I wanted to do was sit in a hot tub, have a view, make the ribs while we're in the hot tub. It actually worked out great. We had a really great time. We weren't there long enough to relax in a sense, but we kind of did. I didn't. My mom did. And that's all that mattered. But I didn't. My thoughts of just being tired and exhausted and wanting my mom to have a good time and wanting to entertain her and do the things is where my mind was. I had a really hard time allowing myself to relax because I just wanted my mom to have a good time. And I just want to let you know my mom did nothing to put this pressure on me. So, mom, if you're listening, I want you to know that you did not do any of that. This is all self inflicted, me just wanting you to have a good time. So, we ended up going on a boat tour, which was actually really kind of fun. And then we walked around Big Bear, got some fudge. If you ever go to Big Bear, go get some fudge. I don't even know the place, but you'll know it. It's right in the village. And had some lunch. And then we went back and did nothing. And that's when I felt like I could finally kind of relax. We didn't have the best Wi Fi, which I had high hopes because there was some work that I wanted to do online and I didn't get to do it, which was kind of a blessing in disguise, right? Because there was no internet, I couldn't work. And sometimes that's how God just allows you and tries to get you to rest and relax. And it's up to us to listen. And sometimes I listen and sometimes I don't. And I kind of did. I tried to, but I really struggled to, if that makes sense. But, anyways, the rest of Wednesday was just a relaxing day. And then Thursday, we came back home. So, super fast trip, as you can see. I didn't really get to relax like I wanted to, but it was still great. It was still fun. And so, Thursday morning, we come back to LA. And I am deadbeat tired. I don't think we talked the entire drive home. I just was focused on staying awake and driving and getting us home safely. And I share the details with you because these are all signs that I usually listen to and I didn't. Like I said, I went back to and reverted back to my old self where I didn't listen to the signs, where maybe I did listen to the signs, but I tried to suppress the signs and not acknowledge the signs and think that I could push through the signs. And let me tell you, that doesn't work. Or you think it works for a little bit until it doesn't. But typically, if you ignore them long enough, they're going to manifest in some way, shape, or form, whether it's an explosive outburst, an argument with a friend or a partner or somebody else. Maybe you have massive road rage. Maybe you get sick. Maybe you have a disease. I'm not sure what that is for you, but what I can tell you is that when you don't pay attention to your body and the signals that it's trying to communicate with you, it will manifest in a different way. And so Thursday, we get home, and I'm still not paying attention to how tired I am. I am, but I'm ignoring it. And we go out, we do a little shopping. We're taking it slow, but we're still doing things. Go out to dinner, and I wake up in the middle of the night, I think around midnight, to a bloody nose. Now, the bloody nose could be from a couple of things, but I'll tell you another story about a bloody nose in just a second. But I did have a bloody nose once in Big Bear, probably on the Thursday morning when we were getting ready to go. Um, it could be because of the dry air. It could be because I was using Flonase, which I'm still using Flonase and have been using Flonase. Or it could have just been stress and the body saying, hey, I'm trying to get your attention. You're not listening to me. Okay. So had one in Big Bear, came home midnight. I don't know. Does that technically mean it's Friday morning, midnight? I'm not sure. But in the middle of the night between Thursday and Friday, I wake up to a bloody nose again. And maybe I touched my nose, maybe I scratched my nose in my sleep. I'm not sure, but I wake up and I'm mid sleep. And so I'm not fully awake as I'm dealing with this bloody nose. And I'm in my bathroom trying to wash away this blood. And if you've ever had a bloody nose, it just keeps coming. And I'm starting to panic at this point because the blood's not going away and I'm still not fully awake. And so I start to actually have a panic attack. And I finally get some tissue in my nose and I'm having this panic attack. And I'm on my knees. My head is against my cabinets. I have a bloody nose. I'm trying to catch my breath and I'm panicking. And not only am I panicking, my mom is at the bathroom door asking me if I'm okay. And I'm trying to tell her I'm fine. I'm just having a panic attack. And I think she starts to kind of panic. So not only am I trying to manage my own panic attack, I'm trying to manage my mom so she doesn't worry about me. And If you've ever had a panic attack, you know that's not the easiest thing to do. And so, yes, it could have been the dry air. Yes, it could have been the Flonase. I highly believe that it's because my body was so stressed out and I was not paying attention that my body was like, we have to get her attention. And it came through and manifested in the way of a bloody nose and a panic attack. I'm going to get a little bit more into panic attacks, but I do want to finish this story. And so I went back to bed the next morning, Friday morning. I blew my nose, bloody nose again. Friday day, I had five, between midnight until the end of the day, I had five bloody noses. And on my way to my clients, because remember, I go to my clients in LA, I had a full blown cry. And I really believe, because I teach nervous system regulation, that that was my body's way of expressing and expelling the energy that I was storing inside of my body, because after that cry, I didn't have another bloody nose. When we are able to release and expel the excess adrenaline and cortisol that stress has stored in our body, that is when we know that we have been able to process some of that stress. Maybe not always all of it, right? It depends on the person, time, situation. But if we don't express in the form of being able to be with our emotions, being able to acknowledge what's actually happening, maybe screaming or crying, maybe working out and moving the body, maybe shaking, right? There's many different ways to express the excess energy. If we don't do that, that builds up. And so I share this because the week that I was in the salon is already so much adrenaline inside of my body that I don't express because I'm not walking, I'm not on routine. I like I said, I kind of like that because I need that to make my way through the salon. But when I come home, I rest, I relax, I get back into my routine. I do all the things to take care of myself, and I'm usually fine. But I went from salon and added on an extra week and not paying attention to myself. And it manifested in a way to get my attention. Does that make sense? Are we all still on the same page? I hope I'm able to deliver this clearly for you. And so here we are. I am recording this a week later from that. I have been able to sleep. I have been able to rest. I have been able to grocery shop. I have been able to walk, which, oh my goodness, I am a completely different person when I walk into yoga. I really know that I personally, my body needs those two things to be able to function how I like to function and to have a regulated nervous system like I have a regulated nervous system. And when I don't do those, that whole thing that I just listed, I'm out of whack. I'm dysregulated. And so I share that because there are so many of us walking around not knowing that we're dysregulated, but we feel like we're hitting walls and we feel like we're on this hamster wheel and we're not listening to the sensations and the cues that our bodies are telling us, hey, we need something differently right now. You're not paying attention. And so I want to make that kind of like the highlight of this podcast episode is, are you paying attention to your body? And sometimes it just looks like asking yourself and asking your body, how am I feeling? And being honest with yourself in those moments. What am I needing? Right? Sometimes in those moments, I just need to be alone for myself. I know that about myself. I am an introvert. I really enjoy being in my own space by myself because nobody can bother me when I'm by myself, right? I don't give myself that opportunity to have any sort of dysregulation outside of myself, right? Because I get to control my own environment. And so for me, that is my safety. That makes me feel good, right? To you, it may look differently. To you, it could be, I need to go work out. To you, it could be, I need to go in nature. It could be, I need to spend time with my friends and my family. And again, this is what I teach in the embodied shift method is what works for you and how to listen to your body so you know what to do before you get into the panic attack, before you get into the explosive reactive behavior, before you have five bloody noses, right? And so I know this was a whole journey of a podcast episode, but I want to end off with, what do you do when you are in a panic attack or when you know you're about to have a panic attack? Because for me, I know about 20 to 30 seconds before I have a panic attack because I know it's coming. I can feel it coming, but I can't stop it. And so if you're like me and you kind of know it's coming and you don't know what to do about it, here's what I do. You have to surrender to it. And I know that sounds scary. And I say this because the more we try to fight the panic, the more the panic feels worse. Does that make sense? The more resistant to the panic, the longer it's going to be, the tougher it's going to feel, the more uncomfortable it's going to be. It's going to happen. And knowing that you're going to be okay, right? Because when I have a panic attack, I know I'm going to be okay. Knowing that it's not going to last forever. Allowing yourself to surrender to the process and allow your body to do what it needs to do, because your body is intelligent and it has so much wisdom that it is doing what it needs to do to keep you safe and protected, even though it doesn't feel like it. It is expressing the energy that you may have not been paying attention to and storing in your body. And so it's letting that out because you have no more room for that energy. It is essentially making space for that energy. So as I was there on the bathroom floor, on my knees, head against my cabinet, I surrendered to the panic attack. And I just allowed myself to breathe through it. And I told myself in those times, it's going to be okay. It's not going to last forever. You are safe. You are going to be okay. Again, this is something that I've been able to work on because I've had these in the past. I was going to tell you something else in the beginning of the story, that I used to wake up to bloody noses about, oh my goodness, 12 years ago now, 2012, we'll say. I woke up to one bloody nose every single day for about a month. And that's when I was doing a final project for the salon that I was working for. And it was a big creative project. And really, my job depended on it. And so it was a hyper stressful situation for me. I had to come up with a theme and photographers and costumes and hair design. And I don't wish it on anybody. It was not a fun experience for me. But about a month leading up to that final project, I had a bloody nose every single night at midnight. And it's because I was hyper stressed. My body was like, you are stressing yourself out. You need to rest. You need to not make this such a big deal. But I didn't know that. And I didn't know what to do at that time. And so this is why I believe it's not just the Flonase. It's not just me accidentally scratching my nose, right? Because I've been here before. My body has been here before and it knows that this is different. And so at the end of this episode, thank you so much for being here. I know I might have been a little all over the place. I didn't have any notes. I didn't have anything to keep me on track. It was just me talking and allowing this information to come out of me and through me to you. Hopefully, you have been able to find this helpful. If you have any questions, my DMs on Instagram are always open. I love being able to connect with you. I love being able to hear and see and witness my clients and you and your growth. So please share that with me. And again, for the month of September, I am offering one-on-one private coaching calls for only $80. So if you've ever wanted to or have been curious about what it looks like to work with me, I highly encourage that you take advantage, right? I'm offering it because I want to. So please take advantage of it. All right. It is time to end this episode. Again, I want to thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you so much. And if you have found this helpful, please let me know. I will see you in the next episode. Hope you have a great day.